center room in your house. So think about a bathroom or a closet, something on the interior portion of your home, something that doesn't have windows, and cover yourself. Pillows, bicycle helmet, just stay inside away from those windows. Again, that's if you're in Alcorn County, Mississippi. Nobody else is impacted by this right now. I think everybody else, we can really give the all clear for the rest of the day. It's this one storm cell in northeast Mississippi that's really on the way out of the area. So I don't think this thing's going to circle back toward Memphis or anything. Memphis, I don't expect any severe weather here, but it's Alcorn County, Mississippi. We're going to have to watch for the next little bit to see what this thing does. And just to kind of show you a broader view, I know a lot of folks are watching from Memphis wondering what's going on. Well, the truth is not much. We have a couple of showers kind of on the backside of Hurricane Beryl, but it's that one little stronger cell that's coming up through Alcorn County toward Corinth in the next little bit. Zooming back into that, because really this is just about to cross over the county line into Alcorn County. So right there's the county line. You've got County Road 450 right there. Here's 356 that leaves 45 and then goes kind of along the county line. County Road 343 is right there. And again, between Thrasher and Corinth on Highway 45, that is our area of rotation. It does not look as strong as it did. I'd say 3 or 4 minutes ago, I wouldn't be surprised if we had one of those quick tornadoes touch down and lift back up. That if there is any good news with this, it's that these tropical systems, when they come on land, they don't usually produce huge tornadoes. They're really quick, weak tornadoes that touch down for a little bit and then usually lift right back up. So I think that's what we've had happen, a quick touchdown north of Boonville, and it looks like it's maybe not as strong now. What I told you 5 minutes ago is it could ramp right back up. Who's to say once it gets into Alcorn County, it couldn't try again? So I still want you in your safe place if you're in Alcorn County, Mississippi, east of 45 and east of Corinth. That's where this thing is going to be headed. What I do want to check here is our debris mode and just kind of investigate what's going on. I know these are going to look like a lot of colors to you, but I'm just kind of investigating this because really what we'd be able to tell is if a tornado touches down, it's going to pick stuff up. It's going to pick up trees and limbs and shingles and stuff. We would be able to detect that on the radar. I'm not seeing that right now. So I'm not seeing any indications that we've had a tornado touchdown here. But for a couple of minutes, it looked like it might have not far from Thrasher, north of Boonville on Highway 45. Now, that signature, again, it's not as strong as it was. What that means is if there was a tornado, I think it's likely lifted. But we've seen these things kind of come and go through the day. So I still want you in that safe place if you're in Alcorn County. Just to get you the official bulletin from the National Weather Service, this one's going to go until 10:45. That's probably a little longer than it needs to. Wouldn't be surprised if they canceled that a little bit early. But again, possible tornado near Thrasher at 10:02. Just north of Boonville, and it's moving to the northeast at 30 miles an hour. So I'm going to clear some of this out. I'm going to just zoom out a little bit and put another storm track on this and show you what's going on and where it's headed. Now, Corinth, I know you're getting some wind and some rain right now. If there's a tornado, it's going to be south of Corinth. It's not going to be anywhere near Corinth. It's going to be kind of on the east side of the county, and I want to put a storm track for where that might be in the next little bit. So Strickland at 10:17 in Alcorn County, Glenn at 10:19, and then Leedy and Burnsville closer to 10:30. That's when it's going to be more into Tishomingo County within about the next 10 or 15 minutes. So hopefully what we can do within 15 minutes, this will be out of Alcorn County. We can give them the all clear because this is the last issue we would have from what's left of Hurricane Beryl. This is kind of the strongest storm on the back end of it. And as it's moving out, seems like it's trying to act up a little bit. Fortunately, it's doing that as it's leaving our area. So Alcorn County will watch you for the next 10 or 15 minutes. But once it crosses into Tishomingo County, gets closer to the Tennessee River, it'll be clear of our area. And I don't think we have anything else to worry about. So if you're back in Memphis, if you're back in DeSoto County, back in Arkansas, I don't expect more rounds of this. I think this is it. And it's kind of acting up right as it's leaving our area. But But again, for right now, for at least the next 10 minutes, if you're in Alcorn County, just be in your safe place, especially if you're on the east side of the county, east of Highway 45 in Corinth. Again, that possible tornado about 5 or 6 minutes ago was near Thrashers in Prentiss County, north of Boonville along 45. It's now moved to the north and east a little bit, a little closer to Leedy, and then it would be near Strickland and maybe even Burnsville in Tishomingo County within the next 10 minutes or so. But as soon as this thing leaves Alcorn County, we'll be able to clear this out and hopefully we'll be done with any severe weather. You can kind of see how this is moving. It's more to the northeast kind of movement. So again, Corinth, this thing is going to stay to the south of you, and I don't really expect a concern for you. It's going to be the far southeastern portion of the county, and the National Weather Service saying now that rotation, it just looks like it continues to weaken, which is good. We'll happily take that. We'll turn on the shear mode and just kind of look to see if there is anything. And I don't see anything here, not even really any weak rotation. Now, a little bit ago, I would not be surprised at all if we had a little blip or two on the radar. So yeah, right there, this is going back in time now at 10:05. So this is just about 5 or 6 minutes ago, north of Boonville. That is the initial area of rotation that prompted the tornado warning. As we move it off to the north and east, it kind of fell apart. We don't see that little blip pop up anymore, and that's because the rotation is weakening. That is great news. We don't want this rotation to ramp back up as it moves into Alcorn County, and hopefully we can get it in and out of Alcorn without it trying to act up again. But like I said, we're in this environment where we have a hurricane, what's left of it, passing through the Mid-South, and those are very well known to try to spin up a couple of weak tornadoes. So just pay attention for the next little bit in Alcorn County and be in your safe place east of Corinth along 72 and east of Highway 45. That is where that tornado warning is going to go for. Again, give me 10 more minutes, bathroom, closet, stay away from windows at least for the next 5-10 minutes or so until we can clear this out of Alcorn County. I do want to let you know if you have any reports, if you have any photos, if you have any videos, once the storm passes, if anything does pop up, you can shoot us a text and let us know. If you want to say, hey, I've got a branch down in my yard or whatever, you can text us those photos. You can text us your reports if you can do so safely. I don't want you outside right now in this tornado warning, but once it passes, if you do have any reports or photos to share with us, 901-321-7520. That is our text line. You can't call it. You can text it, though. Photos, videos, reports, whatever. Again, do that safely. Do not want you outside during the tornado warning, but once it passes, we'd be happy to pass along any reports you do have to the National Weather Service. Really, in my mind, the more I look at this storm continues to show signs of weakening. I'm not impressed, as impressed as I was a couple of minutes ago. Right there at 10:03, I bumped the radar back in time. 10:03, about 10 minutes ago, a really decent sign of rotation right there north of Boonville. That's when they reissued that tornado warning again. But now that we move into current time, it just doesn't look as strong on the wind mode as it did. What I'm looking at here is the winds inside the storm. I can kind of tell how strong they are, what direction they're moving. It doesn't look as strong as it did even 10 minutes ago. And that's the thing about these tropical cells as part of a leftover hurricane. They come and go really quickly, which is, I guess, kind of good news. You don't have to worry about usually any too strong tornadoes, but there is definitely some heavy rain. There's some gusty wind in there, too. I wouldn't be surprised if we're seeing wind gusts in southeastern Alcorn County up to 35, 40, even 45 miles an hour. So we are going to stay with you. I just want to make sure this thing doesn't act back up as it did about 10 minutes ago. Right now, it's pretty tame. Still stay in your safe place in southeastern Alcorn County, east of 45 and south of 72. That's kind of the area we're talking about. Right now, mainly just some rain and wind. I doubt there's even really any serious lightning in there. We can check that out. Yeah, no lightning at all in this storm. But there is some rain and some wind definitely mixing in there. And again, who's to say this thing doesn't try to spin back up? That's why I'm going to stick with it until the tornado warning is completely canceled. We're not going to leave you here. I want to keep an eye on this for at least the next little bit and make sure it doesn't try to spin something back up now that it is fully into Alcorn County. But that is some good news for right now. The rotation does not look impressive, and in my mind, we don't have a tornado right now in Alcorn County. Again, the reason the warning is out, though, is because they can spin up really fast. So just keep your guard out. Alcorn County, we want you still in your safe place. And again, the winds are picking up too. As we go into just the wind mode and kind of investigate, we're seeing gusts in here 40, 45 miles an hour. So even without the tornado, it's going to be some heavy rain and it's going to be some high wind in here. Obviously, that's not tornado kind of wind, which is good, but that'll still blow some limbs and trees and leaves around maybe your garbage can if it's empty as that passes on by. It's continuing to get closer and closer to the county line. It's in far eastern Alcorn County. Soon enough, it's going to be in Tishomingo County, which leaves our area. That is not our viewing area. They cannot watch us in Tishomingo County. Alcorn's kind of our last area that we cover. So as soon as it gets out of Alcorn, we'll kiss it goodbye. We'll get it out of here. We won't have to worry about it anymore. But until then, we are going to stick with you for the next little bit. Still really watching the area south of Glen on 72. So there's 72 right there between Glen and Burnsville. Right between that is the county line between Alcorn and Tishomingo. If there's something out there tornado-wise, funnel cloud-wise, it's probably going to pass right between Glen and Burnsville. So in those areas especially, here's County Road 343 and County Road 340. We are going to continue to watch that area. Now the National Weather Service saying another area of rotation back where we were originally talking about. This is the nature of these tropical systems. You get these quick spin ups down near Thrasher, which is in Prentiss County, just south of the county line. That's another area that they're watching. So let's go back to the wind mode and check things out. To be completely honest with you, I don't see anything incredibly alarming here that would indicate to me that there might be a tornado. We'll watch it here for the next little bit, but the Weather Service is watching some areas right in here between Boonville, Thrasher, and the county line in Alcorn County that there could be something else trying to act up and spin up a tornado. Again, I don't think I see anything right now. There's nothing in here that's super alarming to me that would jump out as a possible tornado. There's definitely some gusty wind, but they're going to update that tornado warning to reflect that there could be some new rotation mixing in here. I want to switch back to just the wind, and we can kind of query around and tell you how fast the winds are, because to be honest with you, it does not look to me right now that we have a tornado. Again, that could change very quickly. That's why that warning is out. But the winds in here, 40, 50 miles an hour, that is definitely a little gusty as those showers roll on by. Here's the latest update from the National Weather Service, and this is the reason we're going to stay with you. Tornado warning remains in effect until 10:45 for Tishomingo County, Prentiss County, and Alcorn counties in Mississippi. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado near Thrashers, not far from Boonville, moving northeast at 25 miles an hour. So again, this is a new area of rotation, kind of on the southern portion of that storm near Boonville. Again, I'm not seeing anything super impressive in here. Really what I would be looking for, you see how these colors are kind of dim. I'd be looking for some brighter colors, something like that in the green, or almost even pink in the red. It's so bright. And I'm not seeing that right now. It's something, we'll watch, because these things can spin up really quickly with these tropical systems. Again, this is all left over from Hurricane Beryl. We'll watch that area in there that could also be passing in to Alcorn County. But as we're coming up to 10:20, I do want to pause here and just reset. I know a lot of folks in Memphis are going, what in the world is going on? The reason we are with you is because we have a tornado warning for Alcorn County, Mississippi. A strong line of showers from Hurricane Beryl, what's left of it, is passing through. That's prompted a tornado warning not far from Corinth. Everybody else is nice and clear. We've got a couple of showers, but there's nothing else I'm worried about in terms of a tornado, in terms of damaging wind gust, in terms of any serious storms. That's really the only storm we're watching right now. Everybody else, you are fine. Got some showers for the next couple of hours, but that severe weather threat has passed. And really, any threat of severe weather is going to quickly start to move off to our east. It's going to come a little closer to Nashville, northern Alabama, that little line right there. So it's leaving the Mid-South. It's getting out of here, and soon enough, it will be completely clear. And then it's going to shift over toward Nashville, Huntsville. They'll have to deal with some showers, and they'll have to watch for these little spin-up tornadoes, too. That's always an issue with the tropical systems. But that's just kind of a wide view of what we're watching, and the reason we're on with you is because the remnants of Hurricane Beryl trying to spin up a little tornado. And again, the whole hurricane, think about it spinning like this. So it's really easy for those little tornadoes to spin up in the storm cells. And that could be what is happening right now near Corinth. As we zoom back into the area of interest, again, this is the tornado warning we have for eastern Alcorn County. It's really east of 45, so that's 45 right there between Corinth and Boonville. Here's 72 between Corinth and Iuka. It's those areas kind of in between those two highways where we could have some rotation to watch out for. Back down to the south, I want to just investigate a little more, and I know I'm kind of just clicking through stuff, but I want to make sure I'm not missing anything on the wind mode. And really what I'd be watching for here is two colors kind of put together, brighter green and brighter red would indicate some rotation and a possible tornado. There's a couple of areas that could be trying to do something. I've got one down here south of Boonville. I've got a couple right in here. And I've got a couple even in Alcorn County where maybe up in the clouds there could be some rotation, but none of this is strong enough to reach to the ground. Now, could we have a funnel cloud out here? That's certainly possible between Alcorn County and Prentiss County, but it doesn't look to me right now that we have anything on the ground tornado-wise, which is good. But it's still something to watch for at least the next 10, 15 minutes as this thing passes through Corinth and Alcorn County. Putting another storm track on it, I know we like to kind of keep an eye on who's next, where this thing is headed. The good news for us is it's really moving out of our coverage area. So Alcorn County is the last county in our coverage area. Then it goes into Tishomingo County, which is part of the Tupelo television market. And that's kind of where this thing is headed, basically out of our area. So it's going to be out toward Leedy at 1026. Leedy sits right on the Tishomingo-Alcorn County line. So by 1026, most of this storm is going to be into Tishomingo County, and hopefully they can let that warning drop for Alcorn County. Burnsville at 1031, Iuka at 1047, Blythe Crossing at 1051, and then Waterloo at 1101. That's getting over a little closer to the Tennessee River and into northeastern Alabama. But this warning does go until 1045. So we'll stay with you at least until then to make sure nothing tries to spin up in terms of a tornado. Fortunately, we're not seeing any of that right now, and I continue to not really see any significant signs of rotation here. We had one when we first came on the air, I would say maybe 15, 20 minutes ago, something like that, that might have tried to spin up a quick tornado. I'm not seeing that anymore. It's not as impressive to me, which is great news. I don't want a storm to be impressive because it doesn't look like to me that we have a tornado. Now, somebody at home, I hear them in the back of my head, well, why are you still on TV? I understand. But as long as there is an official tornado warning, we have to stay on the air with you. So that's why we're going to do that. The National Weather Service has this thing set to expire at 1045. If it continues to look like this and it doesn't look, like it's going to strengthen back, they'll probably cancel it early and then we can get you back to your regular programming. But for now, we're going to stick with it, even if it is kind of going in circles here, because I just want to be on the air to make sure anything doesn't spin back up. I do want to get over to Boonville. We have some video from the North Mississippi Storm Chasers and Spotters. This was not too long ago in Boonville. We can just take this full, guys, at the back if you want to and kind of get a view of what is going on. Again, this is from the North Mississippi Storm Chasers and Spotters. This was near Boonville, and this is what came up toward Corinth. That's the storm that's in Corinth now. There are definitely a couple of areas in there where you see some lower hanging clouds. Could be a wall cloud, could be a funnel cloud in there. I wouldn't be surprised at all. It's hard to see if anything's actually rotating on this video. With these tropical rain showers, you are going to see everybody kind of dealing with the heavy rain and the gusty wind, as well as those tropical rain showers pass on by. But again, that was from Boonville and the North Mississippi Storm Chasers and Spotters sending that to us. Now, that storm has really moved out of Boonville, at least the part that we were looking at there. There's another section of the storm that is kind of now east of Boonville that we're watching, and then a couple of more areas of heavy rain and maybe some rotation in Alcorn County and Corinth as well. But this whole system, this whole storm cell, it just does not look as strong to me as it did. But again, the reason they're keeping this warning going is because these things can spin up really quickly. So we're going to stick with it for at least the next 15 to 20 minutes to make sure this thing doesn't act back up. I want to be on here to make sure Alcorn County and Corinth is doing okay as the storm passes us. Waiting on an update from the National Weather Service to see what their thoughts are. Again, like I said, I'm not super impressed by the storm right now, but I completely understand why they're keeping that warning going, because within a matter of seconds, it could try to spin up another funnel cloud or another tornado. Now here in Memphis, we do have some showers passing by. I would call this kind of the last round of showers, more likely than not, kind of on the back side of Beryl. There's some showers now from Horn Lake to Walls, coming into President's Island, Whitehaven, eventually toward downtown, and the rest of Memphis going to get in on some shower activity in the next little bit. There are a couple of heavier cells in Mississippi County, Arkansas. None of those anything concerning, but there's definitely some heavy rain, maybe a couple of claps of thunder west of 55, west of Blytheville, and that's going to be coming into Blytheville in the next little bit. Wouldn't be surprised for Blytheville to see some heavy rain and some gusty wind, but again, nothing of a tornado concern with those storms. It's just that one little storm cell, that one pesky cell not far from Corinth, that we're going to continue to keep an eye on. What they're going to do is they're waiting on one more update from the radar. What they want to do is they want to make sure nothing is trying to spin back up. And it looks like if the next radar scan comes in, which takes about 1 or 2 minutes, they might cancel the tornado warning. So stand by here. We might be ready to go back to regular programming. Again, I've been saying for the last little bit, I'm not super impressed with the way the storm looks now. It doesn't look to me like it's producing a tornado. Now, 20 minutes ago, that was a different story. I definitely think we could have had a funnel cloud or at least some rotation in the clouds near Boonville. But now that that storm has made it into Alcorn County, it's kind of starting to fall apart a little bit, and it just doesn't look as strong as it did 10 or 15 minutes ago. So they could be canceling this tornado warning here pretty soon, but we're going to stick with it for at least the next couple of minutes just to make sure that this storm system doesn't ramp back up, because these little tropical systems, they can quickly spin up a little tornado before you know it, and that's why they're keeping this warning going, just to cover for that in case the storm does strengthen. But while we're waiting on that update from them, I'll go back in here and just kind of look around, and there's really nothing in here in terms of the storm winds and any rotation. There's nothing that I'm looking at right now that is screaming to me a possible tornado. Again, that was different 20 minutes ago, but now that we've gone forward in time, it does not look as strong to me. It does not look as impressive to me, which is great news for Corinth and Alcorn County. We're also checking in with our storm chasers. We've got a storm chaser on this storm in Alcorn County and Prentiss County. They're kind of watching things from the ground, and they're not seeing anything on the ground either. So we'll keep in touch with the North Mississippi storm chasers and spotters, but again, if they were to be seeing anything, they would let us know. And right now, it just doesn't look like they are. Again, Corinth, you are not in the warning. This is east of you. It's mainly going to be southwestern portions of Alcorn County. Now, if you are traveling, if you're headed eastbound toward Huntsville from Corinth toward Iuka and the river, that is an area that we might have to watch a little more. But again, that is leaving our coverage area. We do not cover Tishomingo County. Our signal only gets to Alcorn County, then it goes over to Tupelo. So that is kind of going over to the next television market. Our last responsibility is Alcorn County, and that's why I'm still on. I want to make sure Alcorn is okay. I'm keeping an eye on all of y'all. We don't want to forget y'all. But right now, again, the good news is nothing is extremely concerning to me. You're going to have some rain, you're going to have some wind, but in terms of a tornado, I just don't think we have one right now. So hopefully in the next couple of minutes, the National Weather Service will drop the tornado warning and we can get you back to your regularly scheduled programming. Regardless of what happens, we will always have the latest updates on our free ABC 24 app. This is a totally free download, and it is an amazing tool to have. You can get a free download of the ABC 24 app on the App Store and Google Play. We have the radar on there, the latest forecast, and we will send you an alert if another warning is issued. We were the first ones to let you know about these tornado warnings, and we let you know with the ABC 24 app. So that is an amazing tool to have. You will be the first people to know if a storm today or any time in the future decides to act up. And of course, you got your news headlines on there as well. That is always important. So just search ABC 24 on the App Store and Google Play. So they are going to cancel this tornado warning, which is great news. They have just canceled it. You saw it fall off the screen. So no more tornado warning in effect for Alcorn County. That has been totally dropped, which is great news. A couple of showers still continuing in Alcorn County, but It's quickly moving out of here, and I don't anticipate any more of a tornado threat. I think things are really wrapping up, especially as quickly as that is leaving Alcorn County and going into Tishomingo County. We'll keep an eye on it. We're not going anywhere. We'll come back on the air if there is anything else that develops. And of course, we'll be back in 30 minutes as regularly scheduled for ABC 24 News midday on ABC 24 for CW 30. We'll send you back to your regularly scheduled programming on ABC 24. It's Back to the View. I'll see you in 30 minutes.